Hello and welcome to our garden. My name is Vicki Ann and today we're going to take you on a pre-tour of our garden. I say this because we're not exactly ready for a tour. Maybe in a couple of weeks we will be. We're starting today with our Yukon Gold potato patch. We planted 25 pounds and they actually went further than we thought that they would go. We had all of these planted earlier and the frost bit them, so we just waited and they grew back because that's what usually happens to cold plants. These are our tomatoes. We have grown probably about 10 on each side. We've grown about a total of 20 tomatoes. We have about 5 different varieties that we're growing this year. Last year we grew 15 varieties of tomatoes. We're just trying to get some that we can eat fresh in salads and some that we can or make spaghetti sauce out of. And we have about 12 cucumbers on this side of the trellis. We have 2 of the stone of the concrete beds that are connected by the trellis. And next we have a small herb section, and then we have a second set of the concrete beds, and in this one we're growing peas against the trellis to go up on the trellis, tomatoes on this side, and then in the center we're growing some leeks. Some of those are not doing too well, we may have to replant. Then we have another little herb garden, and then we go on down, we have another potato patch. As you can see, we also have our watering system in place here. There was a beautiful little plant I just had to take a picture of, a little wildflower. And then over here we've not got this bed planted yet. This one is tomatillos, and since I took this video, I planted some radishes on each side of the tomatillos on the front and back. You can only grow 2 in this size bed. It's about a 6-foot bed, but the tomatillos grow to be about 3.5 feet wide. Another little herbal garden there. I love to grow herbs and I dry a lot of those. And then below that we have 2 more beds we've not used, and then we have a big long metal bed that is all potatoes. The bed you're seeing now, this is onions, and then we have peas in the background. They've not grown really well, so I'll probably go in and between the peas I'll grow something else, maybe noodle beans or something like that. Here are some different types of potatoes. They're supposed to be lower in starch, so we're trying those this year. And then on the next bed, we again have tomatoes, and I think those are big boy there. We just have a variety. I'll go more in depth in the next video. We have some hollyhocks there, and we have some onions. Then I've gone back and planted noodle beans all down the row there to go across the trellis. And in this bed I have some peppers, some banana peppers and some sweet peppers, and then I have some lettuces. Those actually came back up on their own. They're red romaine. Here's some more of our peppers. I think we have some red peppers and yellow. Then this is kale, and it's the curly kale. I actually like the dinosaur kale better, but I couldn't find it when I was shopping for plants over at the Pine Tree Farm in Clay County. Then these are more of the romaine lettuce. It's the green lettuce. I really like the romaines better than any type of lettuce. Then you can see a little bit of the celery back there, and it actually came back up from last year too. We have mostly a clay type soil that we have to continuously enrich. In the next row we have our June-bearing strawberries. I noticed a dandelion there, and I actually left that for dandelion tea. And then we've pulled some weeds out here, so we're going to have to replace some soil and do a lot of weeding. Now this is our mint, and we had to move it here in these smaller containers because it overwhelmed one of our garden beds this past year, and we had to completely pull it out and get rid of it there. Then we have a long row of strawberries that we've just put in this year here. And as you can see behind it, we have another entire row of strawberries. And it's even come into the center aisle between the rows. I think we've planted about 5, but we've got 3 more that we have to plant. Here we have another herb section of our garden, and we added some basil this year, and we added some cilantro. A lot of your thymes and like your lemon thyme, your echinacea, those they come back year after year, so they're perennial. We still have those 3 beds you just saw to work on, and we had to add a lot of soil to those. That's where we pull the mint out. Now these 2 beds that you're getting ready to see, this first one I just planted a clematis vine there, and it will grow up the fence row. And in the center you're going to see turmeric. I've never grown that before. It's also an herb, but I will be interplanting strawberries all through there. And here is rhubarb, and we'll also be planting the strawberries around the rhubarb. I was so glad to find that turmeric plant. I'd never seen one of those before. And then in here we'll also be planting strawberries around our lupines. We got those seeds in Maine last year. And all the way up through here, these are just beds that need to be cleaned, and we've got to figure out what we're going to plant. They have some flowers like those hollyhocks you just saw, but we'll have to add some soil to these. We've already added some soil to the beds. Those will be flowers and vegetables. We have yet to decide what we're going to put there. Here we used to have blackberries, and we replaced those. And we had blackberries here too, but we chose to take those out this year, and we're putting beans all the way down this row in the earth boxes, and they'll be climbing up the wire fence there, and behind that we'll have corn, probably about 2 or 3 rows of corn. Here we have blueberries. We've tried blueberries all over this area, and we've got 3 that's still doing good. We've lost 6 over the last 3 years. There's another one we're going to have to take out, but we still have 3 good ones that produce well. And they're the tall ones, so we're hoping that those will grow up and provide plenty of blueberries for us to put in the freezer. And there's another one that's may live, but it doesn't really look like it. The soil is just so damp in this area, even though, as you can see, we've put a lot of wood chips down to try to prevent that. And we've also added some honey berries. We put those in last year, so maybe we'll get some this year. We're hoping so. And then this is a fig tree. It looks like, I'm not sure if it's living or if it's dead. The first year it did real well, and then the second one it did not. And then we have some apple trees, and these are the red Roms, and that one is doing really good. I'm real happy with the condition of that one. And here's another one. This is a pear tree, and it looks nice. And you can tell how damp the watery the land is by those reeds around that apple tree. Then we go on over, and we've got some hollyhocks. I like to use a lot of different things to plant in. And in these are the planters that were on either side of the gate, and these are hollyhocks. And then we have another little plant underneath there. And it's really nice, and it really spreads well for us. And we have the clematis vine. This is such a pretty flower. Last year it looked even better. It had even larger flowers last year. I need to add some fertilizer to that. And we try to use organic fertilizer for the most part in our garden. Over here we have some more hollyhocks, and we have a different clematis vine. This one will have purple blooms when it blooms out. And then on over we have a rose. That's a coat of many color rose, but it was supposed to be a climbing rose, but it really isn't one, so I may replace that one. And like I said before, I use all types of things to plant flowers in, like this old tub that was my grandmother's that she made soap in. Then these earth boxes will be filled with annual flowers, maybe marigolds or zinnias or something like that. And all this area here that you're seeing right now will also be filled with annuals. And we will plant those within the next week. There's my hubby relaxing a little bit. And then there's our flags, our U.S. flag, and then our Christian flag that we like to fly in our garden. Now, my husband Neil did this drone shot, and we're going to let you enjoy our garden with some music.